What's happening? There we go. I'm Renee Knorr. Now you can hear me. I'm sorry, just a while ago we were still muted. I'm grateful that you're here with Muses, the podcast. Excited to be winning Wednesday. Looking forward to our co host that's going to also be joining us today. No matter where you are in your life, stop, pause, because it's getting ready to go down. We're going to be talking about fashion, we're going to be talking about styles, trends, and what better way to doing that than welcoming some of our incredible guests. So let's go ahead and introduce some of our co-hosts today. Our first co-host is the one and only, our very own Miss Karen Gettys of KG House of Fashion. How are you doing today, Karen?
I'm fabulous, beautiful. How are you today?
I'm doing, if I was doing any better, I'd be a triplet, Miss Karen. That's how great I'm doing.
I hear that.
Yes, and we're going to be talking about the fashion. We're going to be talking about your fashion because I saw a little birdie told me you had some fashion over there in front of Washington, D.C. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yes, but it's always great to have the award-winning Miss Karen Gettys here out of New York City, and we're getting an opportunity for you to go into deeper dive and introducing yourself. Our next fashion icon is right here, one of the only GW3 warriors, Miss Janeth Alvarado. What's up, beautiful? How are you doing today?
Great day, everyone. I am amazing. Thank you so much for this platform. And we're talking designers of color today and what's coming up
Yes.
for the fashion industry. Thank you.
I love it. I love it. I think it's perfect timing. I don't know about you all, but I love the fall weather, going into the fall, that crisp weather. And I know for sure our next giant that's going to be joining us, Janet, he loves layers. A birdie told me about that. Our award winning, not only are we grateful for 25 years of what he's been able to do in fashion, especially with Ebony Fashion Fair, but what he continues to do each and every day. Our very own award-winning Mr. Lamar Ameer. How are you doing today?
Well, thank you. Hello,
Hey,
I'm company of beautiful women. I'm feeling fabulous. I feel like a king, the king that I am. I'm well.
that's
I'm well,
right.
thank you. Merci beaucoup. I'm well.
I love how you said the king that I am. You better claim it, my brother. I
Yes,
love it. I
ma'am.
love it. Well, this is the time before we jump into our really juicy conversation about fashion, the colors of fashion, and what the hell is going on with fashion. I want you first to introduce yourselves, and how we start with you, Miss Karen Gettys. Please introduce yourself.
So I'm Karen Gettys, from founder and CEO of KG's House of Fashion, which is a women's apparel company that is dedicated to the professional woman. Currently, we are going under a rebranding. I am bringing something new. I'm bringing something fierce. I'm bringing something we call 2.5 for the new style corporate woman. That's what we're doing for 2024, 2025. And I look forward to sharing with you guys.
Absolutely, Miss Karen. Thank you so very much for that beautiful introduction. We'll go over to Miss Janet Alvarado.
Thank you so much, Renee. Oh, Karen Gettys, a professional woman. I love that. My name is Janeth Alvarado here from Las Vegas, and I have a fashion boutique where fashion meets sustainability, where we reuse, reduce, recycle. We make old into new. And I'm excited for the future and what comes with fashion because we make fashion our own, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, we make fashion our own. And I love the fact that you talked about that sustainability and absolutely looking forward to hearing more from you. The man himself, Mr. Lamar Amir.
Hello, I'm Lamore Mirror. In Dayton, Ohio. Still call myself a New Yorker. I am global. I am rebranding. After almost 10 seasons with the Dayton Contemporary Dance Company, I am no longer with them. So I am back to being 100% absolutely me. So I'm back on rebranding with New House of Fashion International, and I'm kind of doing a lot of everything as the queens are doing. I'm doing some of that and some. So yeah, I think we're all doing this together. So I'm happy to see I'm not alone.
No, you are not alone, guys. Let's put some hearts up in the chat. You're truly, truly not alone. I think right now, this is the season for everyone to get that opportunity of not only rebranding, regrouping, but also re-identifying. I like to say that. This is a perfect time, as we get ready to bust out, getting into fall, give us an opportunity to add a couple more layers to our roads journey, and then also recommit ourselves to the reason why we got started in the first place. And so I want to talk about this. When you think about Karen Gettys, KG House of Fashion, what do you automatically think about? What do you want people to know about your brand and what it stands for? If you don't mind pouring that into us, Karen, please.
So the brand is about empowering women, making them feel as confident and as comfortable and as sexy when they step out their door in the clothing, knowing that each and every time they put on something from KG's House of Fashion, that's what we want to do. We know women that all women, but specifically women in corporate America, they're running a boardroom during the day. And we also want to transform them from that same outfit to their nightlife. So I'm I'm on this new spin about, remember how Clark Kent used to go into the phone booth? He came in with a suit and then he came out in his Superman suit. We want to do that for these women in corporate America. We really want to transform them, just doing something a little different. And it's my mission, it's my goal in life to be dressing these ladies. That's what we're doing. And that's why we're rebranding. We want to bring something new and fresh to the industry. Absolutely.
I love what you said about that Superman effect. I want to say this though, Miss Karen.
It's
Can we
Wonder
become
Woman.
Wonder Woman? I'm
It
sorry,
is
can
Wonder
we be
Woman.
Wonder
It
Woman?
really is
Because
Wonder
baby,
Woman.
let me tell you something. Wonder Woman was even more powerful than that
Yeah,
doggone.
she turned around and
And
she
that's
was
when the power.
somebody
Come on,
different.
Lamar. You feel me? Come on, Lamar. Pour into this one. Come on now. I'm like, I
I
want to.
I I love it. It's like as soon as you said, I was thinking no Wonder Woman because she do that spin.
She did the spin around.
That's actually Renee because she'll be in one place another time. That's her. You are Wonder Woman.
I
And it,
But
it
respect.
really
that was
is
good.
called Wonder Woman, but I didn't know how many of us really could identify with Wonder Woman. But I forget, sometimes we all
Ooh,
are in the same age bracket and we know who Wonder Woman was. So it
yeah.
really is a Wonder Woman that's going to be on the website. Absolutely.
Well, remember, Wonder Woman is still Halloween. They still have the Halloween costumes.
Yes.
She's a classic of all times, that Linda Carter. And yes, baby, I used to always think I was Wonder Woman. As a matter of fact, Lamore, even for the Emmy Awards, I had my piece right on top of my head. All I needed
And
was
and and you had your
I love it. Well, Lamar, I have to ask you the same question. When you think about your fashion, I love Miss Karen House of well, KG House of Fashion. I'm wearing one of her classic black dresses right now. It's always about empowerment, and whenever I wear it, I'm like, "Watch out, here I come." But I like to say this about you too, Lamar, because I had the pleasure of wearing you on several runways. Tell everybody about your brand and what is it known for,
uh
please.
I never paid attention to. I did some other interviews on what it was quote known for unquote. But I always go back to being with Ebony Fashion Fair and the wonderful Miss Fabulous Shayla Simpson Ross. When she started giving me these little these little titles. She said that the designer shows more flesh than fashion. Uh, you know, I never forget that one. There were so many, but my thing, even the sister was saying, it's like there's a sense of empowerment. I love to go to fashion shows where people are like, the models are literally fighting over my garments. I want to wear this. I want to wear it. I'm like, you wear what I tell you to wear. And two, not to take away from the males, I like to empower men as well. Anyone that wears my piece should be empowered. I love how it changes their attitude, their mood. It gives them this, you can see people kind of pump up a little bit, I love that, and I love what we do as artists because we transform people. You know, even going back to Wonder Woman, Superman, we actually transform people. We're transformers, and knowing that you're able to do that and still stay ahead of things, trends. And I'm actually going to, I've decided to go a little retro. I'm starting to find that a lot of what I did 10, 15, 20 years ago is in vogue. Is not, never ceased to amaze me. Every day someone sends me something. It's like, look, didn't you do this before? Like, yeah, about 30 years ago. So I'm going to bring some of that back because it's now trending, as they put it. But again, to do something put on a person's body, especially if it's something that's custom, and know that you're literally changing someone's life and making them feel good, actually makes me feel really good. I love that. To me, that's medicine. Um, so I must continue to be a fashion doctor, a doctor of fashion.
Ooh, I love that. I love that. Write that one down, Janet. The doctors of fashion. You know,
Yeah,
you're right. It's that medicine. And I also had the opportunity of working alongside with the one and only Shayla Simpson Ross. Not only was she the epitome of what it was for class and elegance, but also she always wanted a lady to feel like a lady, to be
yes,
a lady.
yes,
She
yes,
was the one that brought class, and
yes.
that's a whole new genre I think we're missing.
Yeah,
And so,
and
go
sorry
ahead.
to interject because I that's one thing I try to maintain. I learned so much from Shayla since the very first time I excuse me, had a piece with Emmy Fashion Fair. I actually left Dayton, went to Columbus. From Columbus, I flew to Chicago. Mrs. Johnson wasn't available. But I spoke with her over the phone, but Shayla automatically started grooming. You know, I still remember when I walked in there with some my holy jeans on and my Timbs, and you know, after I obtained my check, she said, "Now you can go buy some real jeans." I was like, "Okay." She's grooming, but I'm like, "This is my style," but she's like, "Don't do that." But she had this sense of powerful eloquence. You know, and she always one thing that she said to me as was Mrs. Johnson is that, and she always talked about how I dress the silhouette of a woman, and to me, just I mean, a woman's body to me is beautiful. It's just I have chills. Ooh, it's just but to be able to ooh, okay, that was but to be able to enhance that and make her feel almost that she's a woman and a lady to I mean even you and I'm not blowing smoke rings or anything, but I'm using you because we all know you to be able to work with you for let's see, I'm 19, you're 18, you know, for so many years, but to see you as a what people consider epitome of a lady and your height and stature, but for you to even put them on one of my pieces, I still think about the yellow piece when we were in LA. You just changed. You were I still I have it on camera on film. You were totally different, like because she's wearing Lamore, you know, but to be able to dress that silhouette and have that woman and be empowered, be eloquent is wonderful. Wonderful. Sorry, I have to gift again. This first time I talked all day, so forgive
No,
me.
I love it. I love it, guys. Put some hearts up for both the award-winning designers as they're sharing, their collection. That's something that is important. Coming from the space of a runway model, when we go into clothing, it's supposed to bring the best out in us. I look at it that way. And I'll also will say this too, Lamore. It's all about, to me, the mindset also, no matter what. You always want to carry yourself. And when you have the right garment on that complements that energy, that just brings it even more to life. So that's probably why you saw all that greater energy that come out of me. And even like with Miss Karen's wearing her collection as well, we're both looking forward to having you all for the fashion show that's coming up in December. But before we go into that, I want Janet, Janet, you always keep it on track with trends. I heard Lamar talking about what's trending. Talk to us about what is trending for the season that we're in, Miss Janeth Alvarado.
Thank you so much, Renee. Oh, wow. KG House of Fashion mentioned the Wonder Woman effect. And when we put on something beautiful, it makes us feel powerful. So I love that. And KG House of Fashions, that's what you'll feel when you wear her pieces. And Lamore, you mentioned about dressing up, and how just like you're the doctor of fashion, you're the doctor of a makeup. It's all about reinventing ourselves, not just our business, but ourselves and our fashion, and trying something new. Always, be open-minded when it comes to fashion, because you might think, well, those pieces won't go together, but then you put them together and they go together. So for me, my three uh, top three trends for this fall season. I have a little demo here for you. Is emerald green, forest green. Oh no, you can't tell, you can't see. Let's see.
I see the purple bag. Is that
It's
purple
like a
or
blood red cherry bag, which,
okay?
we want Marlowe, cherry, scarlet, with the green, military green, emerald green, and a cheetah print. Those three combos, oh my God, just look at it. So classy, so rich. So I love those three trends. Also, full skirts for the season, denim on denim, cowboy, accessories like a belt, boots, and a plaid flannel blazer or skirt. So I love those trends coming up for the fall. But the three that I just showed you are my favorite three trends for this year, for this fall.
Well, what I love also, like, the color. The color is just
So
right on
rich.
point. I gather today we did the color of black. You can't ever go wrong with black either, right, guys?
Black and white.
No, you can
Yeah.
never go wrong with black, and black and white is always classic. But adding that spice of color, it really helps to transform. And I'll say this too, wonderful tips there, Janeth. A lot of people don't realize, like with the basic black, like what I have on, you could always add a string of pearls. You could put a rhinestone necklace. You could wear like my sporty hat that I have on. You could spruce up your attire just by adding one accent piece, or if you're Ameer, you got to have multiple accent pieces. I know, all right, I'll be quiet about that. But I do like the fact of color. I love color. I noticed, Miss Karen, you shocked us with this beautiful, beautiful green, and we're going to talk about green, but we know your favorite colors like that burnt orange as well. Why
It is.
color during the fall? Why is it so important for you in your collection?
Have you ever gone driving in a fall time and look at the leaves? The It's such a beautiful picture, and that orange really, that burnt orange does something for color, and it just does it for me, and it's a color that looks good. If it looks good on my skin, I can envision it on a lot of other people's skin. When I'm going for color, I'm looking at color that normally will accent our color palette, the skin that we live in. And is it gonna be flattering to you? I truly, right now, the burnt orange is always going to be my color. But Janet, I did do a pale pink maxi coat that looks fabulous for the fall. It's a pale pink, but it looks, the material is so rich. It's going to shock a lot of people. And I also did a emerald green. So yeah, I'm a person who has gotten to love color, because I can really say early in life, I was just about that black. I was just about that white. And I still, those are my go-to colors. But once I learned to appreciate other colors, boy, I just went rampant with it. And I'm having fun with some colors. So for me, and I'm sorry to say this, I'm never going to follow what the trend is going on. If they're on trend, I'm going in the opposite direction. That's what we do here.
Ooh, I like that. Create your own lane, your own way. I want to say this, maxi coats. Come on now, Miss
Oh
Karen.
yeah, that's that
Baby.
shaft. That's
Yeah.
a homage to I won't say black exploitation, but Ron O'Neal, who used to wear the long maxi coats and stuff. It's just
Cleopatra Jones.
yes, it's just something about those long coats that has the matching pants or a matching dress that just makes you walk differently. I'm from that era, and I just love doing things like that, but putting a fresh spin on it to make it modern and make it more sexy because women love to feel sexy.
That's right, Queen Karen. You
Woo.
mentioned something important, vintage,
Oh,
taking
yes,
old, making it into new and
making it into new.
revamping. I love that.
Yes.
You know, one thing I take, because as my, it's so funny people talk about maxis. I have this wonderful piece of, it's a beautiful piece of leather. I will pull it out. It's a cognac leather I've been holding on to for like 6 years.
Ooh.
I
Yeah.
cannot wait to put
Ooh.
To
that maxi coat,
reintroduce.
to make that to build to work on that leather and build this maxi coat for me to wear. I
Ooh.
can, it has to be maxi. One thing I found too is like, especially when I fly internationally, I'm always wearing something because I'm 6'4", so I'm always wearing something maxi because it's like, especially when you go into the airport and it kind of catches wind and people look at you like, I
Exactly.
love, you know, the drama with my shades on. Although I had on some Ray-Bans one time, I kind of ran into something, but I was still cute in my maxi coat. But the maxi is always on point. I can't wait to see that piece.
Yes.
And
That's for me a maxi, and I'm quite short, mind you, and I really don't
It's
wear
called petite.
heels.
You're petite, baby. You're
I'm
petite.
yeah.
petite, yes, I'm petite, but I will rock a maxi coat for sure. Believe you me when I tell you. And when I step out my door, people are like, really? Yes, we doing this. But
We
that's
do it.
that's what we do.
Can
Put
I
Right.
ask you a
some fire,
question really quick?
I want them to put some fire emojis up for the maxi coat. You could be whatever height you want to be. It's about the confidence to carry off that
Absolutely.
coat.
The
And it's an
attitude.
The
attitude.
attitude when you
That's right.
step out your door.
Yes.
That's right.
What
Can
was
I
your
ask you a
Understand?
question,
question?
Janet?
Is Mexico the east side, east coast way of saying it? Because in the west coast we say trench coat.
Oh no, a trench coat is not as long to me, and you can correct me, Lamar, if I'm
Really?
Yeah,
wrong. A
Okay.
yeah,
trench coat is not as long as a maxi
yeah. Because
coat. A
a trench
trench
is
coat,
somewhere by to the knee or 3/4 length. Where
right.
maxi
But a
a max
maxi coat
my
goes a
maxis.
little longer down.
Yeah,
Oh,
my maxi,
wow.
yeah,
You
my
guys taught
maxi,
me something new.
yeah, being 6'4" as a male, my maxi will miss the ground no less than an inch,
To your ankles.
no
Mm-hmm.
past the
Right.
ankle.
See,
Right. Little
and
past
for
ankles.
me, I'm not gonna go to my ankles because again, being petite, but
It'll
it's gonna
drag.
go close to the ankles
Yes.
where you know it's not a trench coat. So
Exactly.
never, sorry to say this, never mix the two up. A maxi is a show enough maxi long coat, and a trench will come just below or to your knee.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if
Learning
you're
Now,
something
like
new.
me, wait, he going, if you're like me, you want a train with your maxi
Yes.
coat. That's
I
what
wanted to
I
say
mean.
that so bad. Yeah.
You need to let them know that you have arrived and you left at the same time. It's like, woo. So I
Yes.
always like my coats to drag the floor. Okay, Janet.
Yeah.
Truly, like what they're talking about, the maxi as well as the trench coat. Most times you see, and there's another name is a pea coat as well. So you got the pea coat, you got the trench coat, you got the maxi, and then you got one of those long flowing cape coats that Renee liked to wear as well. But you know, it's important for you to understand, you know, when to wear certain fashion. You know, I always say we can wear it wherever we want to go. You want to go to the grocery store wearing your long coats? Baby, go to the grocery store wearing your long coats. I love what Lamore said, and we're going to the airport. That's a show enough runway when you
For
get
sure.
dressed, you
For
get ready to
sure.
go and play, you know you're going to see people all around the world. So get dressed and do it in style, because you just never know who's watching. You just
Oh,
never know who you're going to be connecting with. I want to ask this question because this is real juicy, guys. This is really good. What has happened to fashion? I don't know about you, but it's like, is it like been a train wreck?
but
Talk
can I
to us
jump
about.
in? Go
Yes,
ahead,
go
Lamar.
ahead,
I'll let you
Lamar. Go
go
ahead.
first.
Ivy meals. I it's like a lot of the social media people send me all types of reels. I mean stuff. I mean, there's a guy who's supposedly a model, was a model, and he studied me in Cleveland from doing shows in Cleveland for Vaughn. And I'm like, okay, I know the guy. He studied me. He's moving, take my moves, blah blah blah. But even with that, this stuff is coming out where Skittles on a coat, chairs on the head, beds on the back. I don't know. I don't. I'm not trying to sound crass or tacky, but I'm just keep it 100 because I'm a New Yorker. But I think some of the stuff that people are inducing for mental illusions, to put it that way, forget it. Whatever people are getting high off of is apparently some type of LSD. Because that and people are calling this fashion and it's allegedly trending. But I think the people who are making the trend, the photographers and the reporters, I think they're on probably some of the same stuff. Because to me, where can you can't wear that to the airport. You can't sit on the. Okay, just thinking about it. So, go ahead, Karen. What are we going to say? Because that's not fashion. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that stuff is. And people talking about, oh, there's this new designer. I was just seeing this on IG 2 days ago. This innovative designer just came out, and when I seen this stuff, I was like, it was like this plastic. I mean, the colors were nice, but I'm like, I, you know, I, I don't
You
know.
know, I went to a couple of shows during Fashion Week here in New York, and I'll say this. I believe the young designers coming up see things differently because some of the stuff that they did, first and foremost, the guy had a bunch of chains on, like chain links on some of his designs. And it's something that I wouldn't do. Someone asked, what did I think? I didn't put them down. I just said it's not for me, it's not for my target market. But in regards to what's happening with fashion, and especially with, I believe, in my opinion, we fashion designers now of color must find a way to bring fashion back to what it really was, which is fashion, which is we want to step out and look good. We want to step out. Yes, you can do some couture pieces because I love to see couture pieces. It looks really good. But the reality of it is if you're not an entertainer, if you're not a singer, if you're not on TV, you really can't wear some of the pieces Lamar just described. Who's going to wear a chair to the airport? That's not reality. That's just putting on a show. But when you putting on fashion, when you're doing fashion, for me, I think we need to change the dynamics. I think we need to have different people at our shows. Yes, we need the press. Yes, we need buyers at the fashion shows. We need those people who are the decision makers at the fashion show to be able to make a decision right then and there. Because a lot of times, fashion is about emotions. When you see something right then and there, you be like, oh, that would look good on so and so and so. And you want to be able to give those designers who's at your fashion show, stop inviting your friends and family and invite people who can
Yes,
help
yes,
build your business that same day. That's where we are going wrong as fashion designers, as people of color. We have to bring people to our fashion shows that will build the business, that will want to make a purchase right then and there. it to me, and I've said this to a couple of people recently. When I first came out, I did the same thing. I had a fashion show. It was fabulous. I spent all this money, but it was friends and family. I didn't have any decision makers, any people from retail that can say, oh, I can see that. Send me your line sheet. We need to get back to that as fashion. And that's what I'm looking to do right now. That's what I've been charged to do. I didn't want to take on this, but it's not going away. So I feel that when I come back out, when I rebrand, I hope people don't take it personally when I don't invite them, because they are not the ones spending the money. They are not the ones who's going to bring a $10,000 order, a $20,000 order to KG's House of Fashion. Sorry, I have to do it, but it must be done.
No,
No, don't.
yeah,
Okay.
No, sorry, I
yeah,
know, I
No
know.
sorry.
no apologies needed. You said something. I was like, oh, aha! I have an aha moment. Here's the thing. I mean, when you doing a production, your friends, your families, that's cool. You will lose money on a production. One thing I would say about Ebony Fashion Fair, although it was a production, it was still a show. It was a lot of things. That was a pivotal point for people of color around the world, Ebony Fashion Fair. So I'm going to step away from that. But when you're doing a production for your friends, it's a party. You're just throwing
Right.
a wonderful party. But the thing is this, because you said and just kind of gave my aha moment. As a fashion designer, if what you're building is not something that's going to be timeless and classic a few years from now, and I'm not trying to give non-people colored designers props or anything, because there's a lot of us. For example, when I really started doing this, I went to the library, and I looked at Yves Saint Laurent, Coco Chanel, Halston. Those are people I started looking at and studying. A little bit of Steve McQueen, just a little bit. But look at those pieces and how timeless they are. I had a
Yes.
piece. I had on a pair of pants. I did a video I posted on IG and Facebook this past Sunday, because someone seen me in Sam's Club and she was like, "I like your video. Can you do another video?" So I thought about doing one today. She said, "Please do one." So I went and did a video down by the river. But even with that, when I went to a function later on that evening, brother said to me, "Oh, brother, those pants are popping." I'm like, "Thank you." The pants I wore in that video are 25 years old. 25
I
years old. I'm like, wow. When I wore these 25 years ago, I was called a clown, but now they're in vogue. It's like the pants are too big. So whatever we design, it needs to be timeless. Will it be, because all that Skittles stuff they're wearing, will it be in vogue tomorrow?
And can a person really wear that? Like I said, couture is one thing. I love watching a couture fashion
Yes.
show. But we live in a world where some of us go to work. Some people go out to galas. Yes, they don't want to look like everyone else.
Mhm.
We have to stop and think business wise. And that's
Exactly.
where, and I'm not afraid to admit it to myself and to you guys, that's where I went wrong. Although all my pieces were timeless and classic pieces, I never had the right people in the audience. That was the decision maker. So essentially, what I did was I I made it look good for my friends. I made it look good for my family. I made it look good for everybody else but the decision makers. And by the time I got to the decision makers, because of the crazy mistakes or challenges or learning lessons, you have to now catch back up. So I've seen your pieces, Lemoore.
Yes.
I've seen your pieces and I love them absolutely. I also know that we have to, as new designers, we have to stop doing things the crazy way. We have to do things, like I said, when you have a fashion show, your friends and family should not limit them. 5 people. But you should have your buyers, you should have the press, you should have the influence, the people that's going to get your fashion out there, the
Mhm.
people who's going to bring you orders. Your buyers are the most important people who should be at your fashion show. You should be able to sell the same day at your fashion show. We cannot continue to do things the wrong way. I know I'm going on a tantrum,
No,
and
that's okay. No, that's
I just,
wonderful.
because I feel so
Yeah,
passionate about it, because I've been through it.
right.
And
Yeah.
I
Oh,
want us to do things differently
yes.
now,
I want us to,
including myself.
yes.
So I decided that what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep it very intimate. Like I said, KG's House of Fashion is going through a rebranding. Oh, that Wonder Woman concept is going to be all over the website.
Right.
When I hold something, it's only going to be for people who are decision makers, who I believe will love the collection and want to purchase right then and there. How a coterie does it. You know what coterie
Right.
does, Lamar.
Absolutely.
You know
Yeah.
what Magic does. They put orders in right then and then, and that's what we have to learn to do as designers.
Right.
Right then and then. So if I have a fashion show, oh, you best to believe I love you, but I'm sorry, you cannot come because you are not a decision maker. The fashion shows are not cheap. You know this, Lamar. They are not cheap. You spend thousands and thousands of dollars that you want to recoup. You can't recoup if it's friends and family. You need to have the decision makers. I'm going to stop right there because
All
I'll
right.
go on and
I
on and
love it.
on.
No,
But
I think it's
it's real
needed.
talk, and it's a
Yes.
lesson learned. Like
We,
Nelson Mandela said, I don't fail. I either learn or I win. And that's
that's
what
right.
we're going to do.
And that's what it is. She either learn or she win. Hashtag that. Not only was it needed for your voice to be heard, Miss Karen, I think it's an educational piece. You know, coming from the real fashion world, and I'm going to call it just what it is, the real fashion world. You know, you have shows that's geared towards entertainment, and then you have shows that's geared towards buyers. And I work with some of the best designers like Tadashi alongside with Halston. These companies right there, you know, what they have 5 different fashion shows right in Atlanta. And I'm sure with the different coteries that's in LA, alongside there with New York City, from every last one of the top designers, it was geared towards only buyers. So I think what has to happen, the educational piece, not only for the designers, but also for the consumers, you know, it's time and place for everything. It's a time and place for everything. You know, if you're going to do a trunk show, then with the trunk show, then you have your collections that's laid out just for buys. And so with
Right.
that, you automatically identify only those that are coming to order your collection. If you are doing a fashion show, keep in mind there's a presentation style fashion show, there's a fashion show, and then there's an entertainment show. And I know in Atlanta, there's a lot of entertainment that's taking place. You know, it was really hard for me to even think about it. But when I first came into Atlanta, it was the Bronner Brothers show. The Bronner Brothers show was like one of the biggest hair shows around. And I
Yeah.
didn't understand the difference between the two until I educated myself. So I can not only say I walked on the entertainment side, but I also worked for the professional side, you know? And I think that's the piece right there, the educational piece. I love what you said. Not everybody can have a seat at the table. You just have to create the table for the right audience. That's the key right there. If you create the table for the right audience, you can always plug in some of those buyers to come to support you at any given time. But you also have to position yourself in order to get them in that audience, get them in that
Absolutely.
seat. So I love this conversation, guys. You know, we're here on Muses. Not only we're talking about the color of fashion, but we're also talking about what the hell is going on in fashion. I mean, because this is real talk at its finest. We know we're going to be showcasing these 2 incredible designers that will be with us for December 13th for Resurgence, as not only we are elevating our designers, but we're also preparing our young leaders to evolve into becoming greater designers as well. And I say this because this is a conversation that we should always start having. You know, I see so many people that still wrapped around doing things for themselves. When do we pass that baton to the
That's right.
younger generation? When do we pass the baton so therefore we can empower our young leaders? That's a question. And Jen, I know you want to pour in, and then we'll come right to that. So
We all want to pour in. We all want to pour in, right, Lemur? I love that. KG House of Fashion. I'm so excited to see where the house is going. It's going to elevate those business women out there in the corporate world, those entrepreneurs. The fashion doctor mentioned timeless and classic.
Absolutely.
Stay timeless and classic. And Lemur, I totally agree with you. When you say you wore a pair of pants you wore 30 years ago or 25 years ago, and they were complimenting you on that, you were ahead of your time. I've been ahead of my time. They're like, what are you wearing? What do you think? And then next thing you know, everybody's wearing it. So we are ahead of our time when it comes to fashion. It's all about having fun with it. And it's how it makes you feel. So together we can make a difference. One stylish step at a time. I love it. I love fashion. Fashion is my passion. I'm switching to sustainability. There's so many pounds of fabric and clothes that we are wasting. Fast fashion, it should be, it's just unnecessary. When we have so many vintage pieces that can be transformed into something amazing and something unique just for you. So thank you so much, Renee. I'm excited to see December 13th, to see everybody's red outfits, red dresses. I am actually making my own red dress out of 2 dresses. So reuse, reduce, recycle. It's going to be amazing. It's exciting.
I love that. I know. I love the fact of what you just said, Janet, that sustainability side. Also, it is helping us to really take our imagination to the next level. A lot of us don't even realize the creativity that we can even expand upon. And I know for sure Lamar is going to jump into this conversation as well. Because man, I've watched you over the years. You have literally set not only the haute couture scene on fire, you've been able to just bring life to so many different worlds, from Africa, alongside with, of course, the United States, but many other parts of the world. When I think about your fashion, it is sort of like something that comes to life. And that's one of the things we appreciate by both of our award-winning designers. So Lamar, please pour into the conversation.
Definitely. First, I was like, Janeth, I'm talk to you about sending some stuff down there, sustainability denim. So let's talk later, please. One thing I want to say, address first, is that we talk about passing the baton, chills down the spine again. That's something I've been wanting to do for years. Even with the company I just left after almost 10 years, it was like, okay, you need an apprentice. I'm like, yeah, bring someone in, because me doing all this work myself on costumes for 15, 16 dancers can be much. So they had someone, and I will say this too, and I don't know if it's fault, someone can get on me, check me, whatever. But I also want to be cognizant of who I passed the baton to. There was someone at the University of Dayton. It's like, okay, well, there's this girl, her name is, we'll call her Becky May. It's like I'm like, okay, I don't want to pass my baton to her. I just didn't feel that she was a fit to hold my baton. If I'm wrong, let me know.
Wrong.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, Lamar, that's going to be your legacy. And
Exactly.
You want someone that's going to be able to hold up the integrity of your legacy and sustain it even when you're not here any longer.
And keep it in the family.
Right.
But I've learned, even in the past, was a young brother who said he wanted to be into fashion. So I was working on this production and some things, because I was working on something for Ebony. Okay, work on this production, and I'm like, just cut for him. I said, here's the pattern, because I make my patterns. Like, just cut these out, just cut them out, show them what to do. and I, was on the call. He was in my studio, and I hear all this laughing. Ha, ha, ha. I'm like, what is he laughing? I told someone, let me go check on this boy. He's sitting there. I ordered food for him. He's sitting there eating a pizza on the floor, watching TV with a pair of scissors in his hand. It had been an hour. I'm like, what have you done? Something, okay, he's not a good fit. There was someone else. It's like you try to teach them and show them, and you end up doing the work for yourself. But it's like for some reason, I don't know what it is that they just can't. There's no passion and drive for the art. I'm not saying that it's dying, but the passion. And every time I do an interview, they were like, "Well, so what advice do you give for people who want to be a designer?" My whole thing is, and I quote, "Learn your craft," unquote. I have people come to me, "I want to be a designer." I'm like, "Okay, what fabric is this?" I don't know. I'm like, "You don't know what your fabric is. You need to know fabric. You need to know colors. You just need to
Right.
know." I just did a show. I volunteered to do someone a few weeks ago, and the lady was saying, "Oh, it's a stamped blah 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 whatever it was." I'm like, "That's brocade. She's supposed to be like a fashion person." And I told her, I said, "That's brocade. It's brocade." I'm like, "Oh my God, what I'm wearing is the brocade." But they don't know. But it's like you have to learn your craft. But a lot of them don't want to take the time to study. I'm like, you have to study. This is not a joke, people. It's not a. This is for real. And trying to pass that baton along, it's like, oh wow, there's no one to pass it to. There's no one to pass it to. But bring it full circle. I did find going to Africa though, there were a lot of they were willing to learn because they pay for education over there, and for you to give them education, oh my God, it's like they take it and they're serious about it. There's a brother I'm kind of mentoring now who is back and still in school. I think he doesn't talk to me anymore. I think he's learned everything. Why he just left me. But I found that doing that and coming back here uh, is a beautiful thing. It lets me know that what I did, what I was able to give, um, it works. It's meaningful and it gives you light. Renee, I'm sorry I forgot the question you asked me because I went off on my tangent. But
We both went on a tangent when you're
I
passionate
know, but it's
about
fine.
something.
it was like with that passion because it's like as I told someone, this isn't a joke for me. I will show you my mess over here and some stuff over here, but it's like I live, eat, and breathe this. Sometimes
Yes.
I don't get to bed until after 3 o'clock in the morning because my brain
Mhm.
won't shut down.
Yes.
Right now I'm thinking, okay, let me alter these pants my mom didn't do this girl's homecoming piece. That's strictly couture. And I'm like, which because I love that because I get to sew by hand, blah blah blah, and her mother paid for it. But even still, it's like this is not a joke. This isn't play for me. It's not a joke. And when you see people with like, okay, I want to be a designer, I'm like, okay, like this one girl I met her at a wedding or this wedding for this bride, and the mother was like, "Oh, that's a beautiful gown," and blah 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 blah. This is my granddaughter. She wants to be a designer, and she's looking at me, kind of dumbfounded. And I was asked her some questions, and she was like, she couldn't answer me from the rip. She had, I'm like, okay, it's not real. And then she sent me this beautiful email not long ago, and I can see she had help with the email. I can tell she had help with it. It was a beautiful email, but I couldn't respond to it because it wasn't real. This
Right.
is, and I tell people, this is not a joke. This is my life. If you cut me right now, fabric will probably come out, thread fibers and some needles and some pins, and probably a measuring tape. So that, it's not real for them. So uh, now
It's
I'm
hard to
upset.
leave a legacy. They have to want, like you said, they have to want to be it. And there are some people
There's no
out there
passion.
that really want to do designing. Um, but it's going to change, and we have to evolve with some of the changes. Like, I've dabbled in AI, but you still have to put your own spin on it. And you're right, you need to know the fabrics that you're using because not all fabrics will hold things together properly. And I know the fabrics that I like, that I work with. I was always a silk girl. Silk is very expensive. You can't put silk on everything. I absolutely love a Ponte. It gives women who may have a little pouch, it pulls them in. So it's a reason I use that type of fabric. So you have to know, and I'm a leather girl. Don't never misunderstand me. If you know KG's House of Fashion, you know you're gonna get some leather. People like to say it's not sustainable, but it very well is very sustainable, more than what they renamed as vegan, which is pleather, which doesn't break down in the system. I'm telling you, you
Okay, excuse me. I still can't ponder. I can't wrap my mind around that. It's like someone saying, "Okay, well, it's vegan leather." I'm like, "Vegan? Does it eat vegetable? What? I mean, what do you mean, a vegan?" And I'm like, "Isn't that pleather? Isn't that plastic?
It's like an
Vegan?
oxymoron, right?
it
Right?" I'm like,
is.
Yeah.
vegan leather. You know what? My thing is, even when I go to the market, like, okay, well, it has no sodium and it has no gluten. I want everything my money's paying for. I want give me the gluten, give me everything. I want it all. Give me everything that my money's paying for.
Right.
I want real leather.
Exactly. And that's why I say when you
That's like,
come to me, you're
let me
gonna
put on a
get
leather coat.
some leather.
He's
You're
gonna go
gonna
show
get some
something.
leather.
Mm.
Because I just know, and not for nothing, I'm a fur girl too. So don't be surprised if you see a piece of fur. I'm not concerned about Peter because God has created everything that in life that has a purpose. So fur has been around from day one,
Hmm.
and it has been used from day one. We have gotten, we have let people get to our heads to say fur is bad, but it is all part of the ecosystem because it comes off of a living mammal. So, yeah, but I'm not going to go on another tangent. I had one tangent. I'm just going to let that one go. But yeah, I'm in agreement with you. Know the fabric that you're using.
Yes,
I'm
and wear your leathers and your fur. Wear your
Yeah.
leathers
That's
and your fur.
right. Absolutely.
Because if you don't wear it, it's just see there you
Yes.
because if you don't, it's like it'll go to waste.
Right. Exactly.
That's a beautiful.
Exactly.
It's gonna go into the dust, and it's just gonna. So use it for what it's worth. You know,
That's
I
right.
had my one of the favorite people in the world told me, and the news broadcaster and writer, use it for what it's worth. Use it for what it's supposed to be used for. Because I had this pillow. He was like, I was like, oh, no one sits on that pillow. He said, use it for what it's worth. It's like, okay, this cow is here. When this cow dies, what are you gonna do? Just use that skin. All the scriptures. Use it for. It was put here for a reason.
Yeah.
Use it,
Right.
please.
If it's
Vegan
on
leather.
God's earth,
Yes.
you can use it. It's
Vegan.
sustainable.
That's like having vegan wood and vegan plastic and people. Come on now.
You know, guys, I'm loving this conversation. We're going to have to pick this conversation up again because this is just the beginning. You know, I am so looking forward to having you both in Atlanta again. And you know what? I just want to say this, Lamore, you dropped so many gems. You're alongside with Miss Karen. If you are into the fashion game, guys, know your fabric.
Yes.
Know your fabric. And I'll say this also, know your market niche. You got to know who your target niche is if you want to deliver not only quality products, but if you want to maintain good customers, you got to know who you're servicing. So not only is it important for you to know who your target niche is, you want to ensure that you are doing what it takes. Are you designing just for yourself? Are you designing for the people? That's another thing too. I know I see a lot of designs that come out these days. I think more importantly, right now, there are window question. Can you guys hear this in the background?
Yes.
Yes, we hear the background noise.
But
So right now they're cleaning the windows. That's what's happening. And I know we were wrapping up because we're at that hour mark for our conversation. So let's do this. Why don't we go around and everybody share their words of wisdom before we wrap up today live presentation with Muses, and we're going to definitely have a sequel to this one here, Janet. So start with you, Lamore. What are your words of wisdom for today for the viewers?
Words of wisdom still is learn your craft, not only your fabrics, but there was someone who told me, yeah, I have these pants, and the white at the bottom said they're called bell bottoms. You need to know terminology. Again, learn your craft. Learn. It's about knowledge. It's a knowledge thing. You know, study some of the old masters. Study some of the new and upcoming masters, such as us. But just learn your craft and be open minded to things. That's pretty much it.
I would say, as Lamar said, learn your craft, understand your business sense of it, and when you do shows, make sure, I can't stress it enough, and I can only stress it because I didn't do it, that you have your decision makers there. Because when you get into fashion and you're funding it yourself, it's quite expensive. So make sure you have the right people that are decision makers. And yes, learn your craft. You're on mute.
Thank you, Queen Karen. That's what it is. Learn your craft. Thank you, Lamore. Thank you, KG House of Fashion, Queen Karen. And thank you, Renee. What an amazing topic of fashion. Like I said, fashion is my passion. And for me, it's all about sustainability, using vintage pieces to create new pieces, mixing and matching fabrics, and know your fabrics. That's right. My favorite fabrics are linen, which I have on today, and cotton, and Ponte I love, and rayon is one of my favorites
Oh
too.
yes,
Rayon is so
Yes.
flowy, and
yes.
I love it.
The
So
poor man's
yes,
silk.
learn your craft. That's key. Learning our craft. And if you are interested in becoming a designer, ask yourself why. Why do you want to be a designer? So that's a good question. Know your body type is another question I would ask. Do you know your body type? Do you know what clothes accentuate your body parts and what you can wear? Because not everybody can wear every fashion out there. So just be aware of your body type and what looks good on you. Um, you know, classic, and timeless. I love that. Always be here with the GW3, the Global Women Wealth Warrior Society. We have a motto. We are 7-star luxury brand. And what does that mean? 7-star luxury brand. We look our best. When we look our best, we feel our best. And when we feel our best, we do our best. So thank you so much for the creator, Renee Knorr, here today. I love today's conversation. I'm always, and I can go on too, talking about fashion. Love you all. Thank you. You're muted, Renee.
Okay, I pray that you guys can hear
Excuse,
me as I'm
excuse
pouring
me.
today about
Please,
this incredible fashion line. Not only is it important for you to know your brand, know your body, also don't be afraid to be able to express yourself. That's what I think about fashion. Fashion is truly a fearless way of expression. And when you're able to express yourself, you want to keep it authentic. You hear both of these incredible designers, not only Lamore, Ameer, alongside with Karen Gettys, but be able to have that authentic side about what it is that you do. I always have some kind of flash or swagger that always allow you to know that's original. That's something that Renee would do. Don't be afraid to carry your swag no matter what. I love the fact that we talked about sustainability because sustainability is about longevity. I've worked with some of the greatest, from the Oscar De La Rentes, from the Tadashis, alongside with our very own Karen Gettys, as well as Lamar Ameer. And one of the things I will say, timeless pieces are truly the essence of not only being able to reinvent yourself, but also being able to stay consistent in fashion. Keep this in mind, guys. Learn how to have that. harmony alongside the individuality. Oh my goodness. You heard from 4 different incredible people all across the world. We all have our own individuality, even though we all wore black. But guess what? We all wore it differently. And that makes life also more exciting. And don't be afraid to be innovative, because that is something that's so important when it comes down to fashion. Having that innovative thinking outside the box. Remember, guys, this is your space that you can always have be the original, and not only have the originality, but knowing this, guys, that when you're nimbling, I like saying that, learn to be able to be adaptable as well. I'm Renee Knorr, grateful that we've been able to have this incredible conversations with our superstar designers. And I'm glad that you guys was able to join us for this special episode of Muses. I was seeing if Lamar was coming back. He probably was doing a fashion change or something like that. Can you see Karen alongside with Lamar? Let's see.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay,
I'm
wonderful,
here.
wonderful.
So I
Okay.
wanted just to say thank you, Miss Renee, for having me today. I gotta run. I'm getting
Yes.
1,000 text messages.
Well, this is our special edition, and we just want to say thanks to everybody for being a part of Muses, the podcast. Thank you, Miss Karen, alongside with Lamora, alongside with the one and only Miss Janeth Alvarado. It was wonderful, guys. Bye for now. We'll see you guys in the next episode of Muses, the podcast.
Wakanda forever!